What's going on, guys? Welcome in. We are live. This is the Edge DFS. We're talking NBA Showdown, Celtics versus the Warriors. Tuesday night basketball. My name is Tyson Smith. I'm joined by Ellie Hernandez, A-Dubs King 24. Ellie, what's going on, bro? How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. Kicking myself a little bit here. I got more caught up in late swapping, trying to fix my lineups that getting canceled. I'm a little bit earlier than you on the comments because I have it up on my phone too. But yeah, dude,
man, we did a whole show. We literally did an hour show, and game got canceled at the end of it. You're fucking with me, right?
No, yeah, I'm fucking with you.
Okay.
You'll see. We'll get a comment here in a second. No, dude, I'm pretty upset because I intentionally went through and had a couple lineups with Fred VanVleet, right? And of course, he's having a fucking career game.
Of course he is. Matthew, don't you put that juju on me, Ricky Bobby?
Yeah, just get the sound bite better. That'd probably sound a lot better. But we get it. You get a couple points for the attempt.
Tough guy, Rodney, fucking tough guy.
How's Rodney Hood doing tonight?
Bro, he's on fire actually. I mean, you get these $3,500 guys in the starting lineup against the fucking Wizards. You got to play them, like, yeah, even if their name's Rodney.
So thanks for joining us, guys. Throw us a like on the way in. We appreciate it. We've got a little NBA Top Shot giveaway that we announced earlier today. We'll touch on that a little bit later in the show with some details. Nothing groundbreaking. We're just going to kind of lead you in the right direction. Go to our Twitter page and things like that and what to do. That's pretty exciting. You know, $350, maybe $400, depending on, you know, where the market's at for that card or for that moment. I always call them cards.
And it also depends on how often Devin Booker is going to hit game winners too. You know, I mean, that's going to impact the value, right?
That helps a little bit. All right, so let's jump right into this game, guys. We've got Boston. This is the first time we've done a Celtics showdown game, so I'm pretty excited. This is a very interesting game here. Boston's in the middle of, you know, West Coast swing, traveling into Golden State. Pretty matching records here. I'd say Golden State is slightly overachieving lately. Ever since they got Draymond back, they've looked like a real NBA team, and Steph obviously going off absolutely helps that. But their bench has been looking pretty good. Oubre has been doing better. Wiggins looks pretty good. I mean, I think he's found a pretty good role on a team like this. I think he's a respectable player, and if he continues to play like this for a few more seasons, maybe that bust tag will kind of come off of him. I think he was expected to do a lot better when he, you know, got drafted that high, but he's a respectable player. Anyways, Boston is minus 141 odds, 58% win probability. This is a relatively high total, you know, not too bad. Boston is on the road. They're minus 2.5 favorites. And actually, a lot of the ownership is going to Golden State here, most likely because you have a lot of value. You got the Pascal, you got Looney, you got a ton of value from the Golden State side, which allows you to get that sort of top big three of the best players in this game overall. So, Ellie, what jumps out to you here? I mean, Boston this is a pace-up situation for them. I mean, they're middle of the road when it comes to pace in the NBA, but Golden State's number 2 in pace. And, you know, their 114 implied total here is about 3 points higher than their season average. So it's a pace-up spot for Boston. You're going to see a little bit more fantasy output from them than we typically would, right?
Yeah, I would expect so. I honestly, I'm kind of shocked that the line is kind of this close, you know?
Yeah.
I do think Golden State is overachieving a little bit. They just don't have some of the positional depth that I'd expect from an 11-9 team. Not that that really means too much at the beginning of the season, but Boston, they are the better team. They should be the better team, and they should be able to win this game, especially without kind of that young guy, James Wiseman, on the other side of the ball. That's somebody who's been providing a little bit of spark to Golden State. So I don't know, man. I don't think this is as close. This is going to be as close as it seems here.
Obviously, if Curry overachieves and has one of those ceiling nights, which we know he can do, the game, it's going to be a good game, most likely. But if he just has, you know, his 30 points, which just might not be enough. But also, look, if Pascal goes off, if Oubre can have a good game, I think this game stays close. You know, this isn't the Golden State to begin the year where they were getting blown out. I really hope it stays close, at least. So anything else to add here before we move over to injuries?
No, man. Let's do it.
All right. So we've got a few, I wouldn't call them major injuries, but they're pretty big news when it comes to the fantasy side of things with pricing. So Marcus Smart is out. Peyton Pritchard is out. So it looks like Jaylen Brown, Kemba and Jaylen Brown get the biggest boost here in usage with these guys out. I mean, Kemba has not played more than 30 minutes since he's come back this season. So it's still one of those things that you got to kind of look out for. But I think he gets a little bit of a boost here. Now, the big news here is James Wiseman's out. And he's been getting, around 20 minutes a game-ish?
Around 24, I think.
24 now. Yeah, he's been getting more and more as the season's gone along. He's been doing really well. They've been trying to ease him into things. But with him out, we get, Looney has been starting recently. What is in the past, like 3 or 4 games? I mean, we've been riding that Looney train quite a bit. Now he's priced up slightly, but he's still a good price. So with Wiseman out, we're going to get Pascal off the bench. He's at a good price. He's coming off the bench, which is actually better for him because the usage for him is there. What's the biggest thing that jumps out to you here with these injuries?
Yeah, I mean, James Wiseman opens up a lot of opportunity on the floor. Pull up Knicks here. Yeah, what's up, Ralph? How you doing, man?
Is this really like real life points?
Real life points. Yeah.
Jesus H.
He's legit having around 80 fantasy points. He's legit having a career night.
Oh my God.
Fucked up. At one point he was 10 for 11 on threes.
Is he highly owned today?
About 15%.
All right. Well, that's good. At least, cash, at least.
James Wiseman being out kind of changes the way this game is going to work out a little bit. I think it opens up a little bit for Daniel Tice and Tristan Thompson on the other side of the ball. I really don't know how long, you can have Kevon Looney play center. After that, what do? Move Draymond Green into that position, and they're both starting. So unless they're planning to cover the court time with those 2 players alone, I think we're going to get a lot of small ball here from the Warriors, which makes a interesting opportunity for TT and Daniel Tice. So that James Wiseman thing really impacts this. And then obviously on the other side of the ball, Marcus Smart and Peyton Pritchard. I think that kind of gives a boost to Kemba Walker and Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, obviously. It really doesn't change too much of my game plan there. Just might open up some additional value if I want to pivot off the obvious chalk.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's move over to starters here. Hopefully we don't have any, changes last minute, but this seems to be pretty locked in. Kemba, Jaylen, Jason Tatum. Oh, can you say that name? Semi
Ojale. Ojale. I have no idea, man.
Something like that. Rodney. Daniel Tice. We got Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre Jr., Draymond Green, Kevon Looney starting. What jumps out to you here about these starting lineups, and what's your kind of number one 6-man off the bench that you'd be comfortable playing today?
6-man, I'll just answer right off the bat. Eric Pascal, he's just in too good of a spot. He gets too much usage, and he crushes at 19 minutes. So think about what he's going to do at 24, 25. Yeah. He's going to have to play some power forward so that somebody can pretend to be a center. What's up, Goon? Goon Squad.
Raph, what's up?
Other than that, man, I think it's pretty clear cut for both sides of the ball. I want Steph. I want Looney, and then I'll sprinkle in some Wiggins, Oubre. Draymond's in a good spot tonight too, but I kind of want to pay up for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum as much as I can, so I don't know how much Draymond I'm going to be getting. But that's kind of going to be my core as I move through here. But if we look at the bench for the Celtics, again, Tristan Thomas could be in a pretty decent position here. Tristan Thompson. Yeah, I called him Thomas. What the fuck? But anyways, he's going to have some opportunities. This isn't, again, you're not going to really have a center out on the court to play against one of these guys. So what are they going to do? Just have Kevon Looney match up with Tristan Thompson all game and then Tice and Draymond? It doesn't make sense the way they have the rotation set up here. So I think you have some opportunity going with some of these random ass fucking centers on the Celtics. Yeah,
for sure. Anybody at the bottom of the bench you'd be considering? Javonte Green, Robert Williams with his high fantasy points per minute output. You got to think about Ken Bazemore, Wanamaker, Lee. All of those guys. We've seen it. We've done tons of these Golden State games. They don't always go off, but the probability of one of them, hitting a near ceiling is kind of up there, especially in a game where there's some injuries going on Golden State.
Yeah, I mean, you might have some interesting. You might have an interesting option with Juan Toscano Anderson, and that's a real deep dive here, right? If that's assuming he's active for the game. Again, they're going to have somebody to play in that 4 or 5 position, and they really don't have the bodies. That's why like guys like Pascal and even Damian Lee, who can switch to small forward time to time, isn't terrible. But they're going to need some size. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 30 DK points easy.
Yeah, we've seen his ceiling. It's up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there. He is more of a, typically speaking, he's more of a GPP option, but with the guy getting as many minutes as he can possibly get, I don't see any reason not to go heavy on Pascal. And shit, spoiler alert, put this dude in the captain if you wanted to tonight. I think even for cash, I hate to say it, I know it's scary, but you can get Curry, Wiggins, Jalen, Jason Tate. You can get all those dudes in the flex if you throw Pascal at captain. So just keep an eye on that for when we're building here. So let's get into the breakdown. Ellie, we'll do that thing we talked about at the captain part. Wait for some people to trickle in here. So let's get into the breakdown here. Break it down. All right. So I'm going to switch over to my Excel sheet. All right. So what jumps out to you here right off the bat? Pascal at 3,600 projected just below Daniel Tice. That's what's interesting to me, right?
Yeah, and I mean that usage just sticks out in the middle of all that yellow. You just got that 23.4%. That's a lot of usage.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, look, hey, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I definitely have a handful of Pascal lineups at captain.
Yeah, me too. The upside's there.
Then it is what it is. We'll be back tomorrow for another show and another X amount of lineups. So Steph Curry is 12.6K. He let's see, 1.4 fantasy points per minute. He's getting around 34 minutes a game. His usage is obviously up there. And the interesting thing here is Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all getting right around 31% usage. So there's a lot of guys who will have their hands on the ball quite a bit today. Jason Tatum's at 11.4K. Jaylen Brown's 10.4K. This is the top tier. How do we fit all these guys in the same lineup together? Do you have to go middle of the road when it comes to captain to fit these guys in? And are you interested in getting, Jaylen Brown and Tatum in the same lineup? I don't see why you wouldn't, right?
Yeah, I want as much of that as I can get. I mean, I want Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, and Jason Tatum, and that's pretty much going to be my core. I do think you can rotate in a guy like Kemba Walker, but he's so cheap that it doesn't really count kind of in this top tier. But
yeah,
look, the usage is there with Marcus Smart off the floor. It should be a boost for the big three in Boston as far as usage goes. So I just like him. I don't think there's much to say. Again, Jason Tatum, he's going to be playing power forward for fucking 36 minutes. So there's a good chance he's going to be getting defense from like Damian Lee at some point. So that's just extra boards that he should be able to get. So he's definitely in a position to smash. And then, this is a pace-up game for them. So Jaylen Brown, if he gets hot, he can start raining the fucking, 52 points FVV has? I mean, we've seen Jaylen Brown do that shit, especially when we're not expecting him to.
So one thing to note here, with Marcus Smart out, pretty good defender. Marcus Smart would typically be guarding Steph Curry in this matchup. It looks like Kemba is going to be guarding Steph, at least based on what I've read. So does that give any boost to Steph? I mean, can you give much more of a boost to Steph than he already has? I mean, but does that make you like him even more, or does it not really matter?
I don't think it really matters. No offense to Marcus Smart. We all know how great of a defender he is. I just think Steph is one of the best offensive pure scorers in the history of the NBA. Like he's unstoppable.
I'm not going to find myself with one lineup without Steph. I don't, and I obviously don't think that that's crazy. But there's no reason to get too fancy tonight. There's so much value there. Just jam those dudes in. All right, so let's go to the second tier here. We got Wiggins, Draymond, Kelly Oubre, Daniel Tice. Who's your favorite out of this? I mean, look, Wiggins has been solid, right? I mean, I feel like Wiggins has been a solid guy so far this year. He's been up and down, but recently he's been looking a lot better. I actually feel very comfortable getting plenty of Wiggins in this game. But Draymond's cheaper, and it seems like he's going to get the minutes. It seems like his projection based on his points per dollar tonight is a better play to play Draymond. So is it a little bit of a pivot to play Oubre or Wiggins? You think they're going to be a little bit lower because they're slightly under these other top tier guys?
Well, not only that, Draymond Green's been pumping in all the optimizers for main slate too. So I think that it's pretty clear that there's value here on Golden State with Wiseman being out. Those 24 minutes are going to be soaked up, and he's literally the only other guy that's large on his team. So he's definitely a solid play. He's going to be a pretty decent point per dollar play. I guess kind of my concern with him is this seems like a bad matchup if he has to guard fucking Tristan Thompson, right? Like, so I can see him getting into foul trouble. This could even just be one of his, defensive and rebound games where he doesn't score at all, and they rely on the shooting of the perimeter offensive players like Oubre and Wiggins. So that's something I want to keep in mind. I'm going to kind of limit my exposure based on that. But with that said, let me answer your question about who I like in these guys. I think I think Daniel Tice is very interesting, kind of because of what I've been talking about the whole show. I mean, we see centers get decent points against Golden State this season as it is. Kevon Looney, I mean, he's very much a guy who can get in foul trouble as well. So he may not be playing as hard defensively tonight because they don't have anybody to fucking play the position. So that does open up a little bit of opportunity for Daniel Tice to me. And again, pace up spot, they're going to be raining threes. These are volume shooters. That just means you're upping your opportunities for rebounds. So I like him. But again, I'm not saying that if I have enough money to play Kemba Walker that I'm pivoting down to Daniel Tice, right? So keep that stuff in mind. You do need to make sure you have the raw points here. I just think he's an interesting play kind of grouped up in this tier players with his projections.
I mean, me personally, I've already crunched out my lineups. It's impossible to build during a show. I mean, every once in a while I'll toss in a lineup randomly that we build. Kemba, I'm way under on Kemba. And I don't think that's a crazy take. I mean, at his price tag and under 30 minutes, he hasn't been doing amazing this year. So I'm way under on Kemba, and I'm getting more of these middle range guys instead of paying up to 9,200 for him. All right, so let's talk about Pascal and Looney, right? So can you get them both in a lineup together? I think the answer is yes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think it's possible. Just keep in mind that it probably is going to be a little chalky, so you do need to start thinking about what you're going to do differently in maybe the captain position. So, I even like Eric Paschal at captain and then Kevon Looney in the flex, building in through there. So, I'll have both of them in the same lineup and probably all of my lineups.
At that price tag for Looney, you really just need like 23 points out of him, somewhere around there. His GPP target at that price tag is around 26. And I think he can get that. I think it's safe to say he usually hovers around 20, but that's with him getting less, 17 minutes. So with these additional minutes and boost in minutes, I think he can get you there. All right, so let's move on to guys like Jeff Teague, Tristan Thompson, Robert Williams. One thing that jumps out with Robert Williams is his fantasy points per minute. 1.25. That's dark green. I know his usage isn't there, but is there any reason to prioritize, Tristan or Robert Williams at that minute, projection, or are there just better options? I mean, 3,800. Wouldn't you just go with Pascal or go down to Looney from that price point?
Yeah, you should. But again, I'm assuming that you have Pascal and Looney in the same lineup, and if you're looking at a guy like Robert Williams, you're looking for that third salary saving option, so you can think about potentially getting Steph into captain, right? So if you're doing something like that, there's a good chance that he's going to be low enough owned that you can take a stab on that in a deeper tournament. So that's a reason why I would consider. But I expect Tristan Thompson to probably just be slightly higher owned than Robert Williams. So Tristan Thompson will probably be like 14%. Nobody gives a shit about him anymore.
Yeah.
And again, nobody's playing fucking center on the other side of the ball. Kevon Looney is not a physical guy. He's more of like a DeAndre Ayton type of center, right? He's a finesse guy, just kind of like, all right, don't foul me. And then he scores, right? And gets boards. I mean, that's fine. Like, good for them. But that's essentially what I see when I watch Kevon Looney play. So I do think Tristan Thompson does have the ability to dominate him. So I think you can put him in a lineup and be okay. I like him a little bit more than Robert Williams just because I think he's going to get the minutes. And again, there's nobody to play fucking center.
Yeah. So let's talk about Wanamaker, Lee, and Bazemore. Sort of this bench holy trinity here. Which one of these guys do you trust the most? It looks like Damian Lee is getting closer to 20 minutes projected. We've seen Bazemore and Wanamaker close out games randomly, like one or the other. Damian Lee is he's very scoring dependent. If he's not feeling it, you're fucked. You're not going to get any points out of him, most likely. But if he is, at 3,000 projected for 20 minutes, if he can get you 25 fantasy points, he's going to be in the optimal. So who's your favorite out of these guys? Do you put any of these guys in the same lineup together? Probably not, because you're already getting Pascal and Looney, right?
Yeah, probably not, because you're probably going to have both those guys. But I mean, look, if you wanted to fade potentially Pascal or Looney, I don't mind stacking up on some of these value guys off the Warriors bench. They're going to have to play small ball. I mean, if I've said one thing this whole show is that there's nobody to play the 4 and 5, right? So they're going to have these guys out on the court at some point. So whether it's a blowout or whether they're in the game and it's competitive, the rotation's pretty tight. So I think you can get some of these guys in there. And Kent Bazemore at $1,000, I mean, that's not bad. If he gets 15 minutes at $1,000, we talk about it all the time. Hell, we play fucking Kevon Looney at 1,800 because we think he's going to get 14 minutes. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just something to keep in mind. We're looking for that kind of value tonight. And I don't mind it at all. Brad Wanamaker is probably going to get, another 15 minets. And, hey, revenge narrative, third string point guard coming to be second string now. You know what I mean? And look, they're all going to get run. I don't mind any of them.
Good old Wanamaker revenge game. Love it. Hey,
watch him drop 42 real life points.
Dude, that'd be crazy. All right, so the $1,000 guys or anybody under 2K, you're saying you probably would aim towards Bazemore here, right? I mean, what about this Ojelele guy at 2,400? He's projected for 21 minutes, but damn, look at that fucking fantasy points per minute there on the Q column, 0.59.
Look at his usage, man.
His usage is negative at pretty much at this point. I mean,
I'm pretty sure he's out there because you need a fifth guy in your rotation, right?
Exactly. I have some of him, but I'm not excited to have him in. It might just be one of these like, oh, the dude got a ceiling performance of 17 fantasy points. I think that's more likely than him doing anything amazing today.
No. So look, 2,400 in the starting rotation is not a bad spot for a guy, right? I just don't think he's going to get involved. I mean, if he touches the ball while you have Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, and Jason Tatum on the court with him, then you're fucking failing as a head coach. And that's kind of just where I'm at. He's probably out there to play defense and try and get some rebounds.
All right, so let's wrap this up here.
One more guy.
Okay.
Toscano Anderson, right? I know he's only projected for 7.5 minutes, but this is a deep flyer kind of guy. You may have to play him. This is a blowout. He's going to get some run because there's no fucking centers. There's no power forwards on this team. So I don't mind him. I don't want you to put him in your only lineup. But if you're running a couple and don't mind risking it, that's not a terrible play.
You know who was talking shit to the Juan Toscano Anderson? You know what started this whole thing?
Magruder. I don't know. This dude might be out the league soon. He's probably mad about that. Who knows?
Wow. Shots fired.
He's over here checking my guy. You good? Everybody seems to be okay.
JTA is his guy,
Everybody's
apparently.
going to their respective locker rooms there, but yeah, I don't know.
Savage. All right. So let's move on here.
All right, so Semi Ojale isn't even starting anymore.
Walker, Brown, Tatum, Tyson, Thompson. All right. So look, does Thompson get a boost in minutes? I mean, he's already projected for 20. Does this mean anything?
Not for his minutes. It may go to 22, but they don't play him. I've learned too much on main slate. They keep him around 20, 22 minutes.
So saying that, the only reason we were really considering him was because he was in the starting lineup and he was projected for 21 minutes. If he gets 21 minutes, then he's a good option. But now I'm more likely to get less of him. Ojale, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. All right. Do you have any fades? We typically look in NBA. Like, I don't like to say, fade one guy unless it really jumps out. Do you have any potential fades that you're thinking about?
I mean, I guess the closest that I'd have would be Draymond Green.
Really?
It's not intentional though. It's just because of how pricings work out. I'm not going to get to a lot of them, and he's pretty chalky on the main slate. So I'm thinking the people will end up higher on him than I am. Hopefully I'm right here, but I when I see him play, I usually see him have kind of high floor games, not necessarily ceiling games. You know what I mean? When you're playing a guy like that and you have that much exposure, you want to make sure that he's not just a floor type of guy. That's why you play him in cash. He needs to have that 45-point ceiling, I think, to pay off that tag with what's on this slate.
So I didn't intentionally fade this guy, Kemba Walker, but it just worked out where he just didn't make it into my lineups. I didn't decrease his randomness. I didn't decrease his projection or any of that stuff. He just didn't end up in my lineups. And I think that's where his ownership will probably come in pretty low, to be honest. So he's actually, if you wanted to get real crazy and you wanted to go over the field on one guy, it would probably be Kemba, because I think his ownership is going to be pretty low. And if he has one of these, we know this dude can score. I mean, this dude was one of the best point guards in the league, 2 years ago? I mean, he was the man in Charlotte, obviously. We know he can score. So if he has one of these games where he, turns into Superman and goes off, you're going to want him in your lineup, especially at a lower ownership. Maybe less than 20%, probably. Potentially. Actually, let's look at his ownership. Let's see where he's at. So he's projected for around 30 to 40, but I think it's going to be lower, in my opinion. All right, Ellie, we're going to move over to captain. But before we do that, let's chat quickly about, we've partnered up with Thrive Fantasy. Ellie, talk to us about Thrive Fantasy. I'm pretty excited about, we talked to these guys the other day. It's a great app. We're pretty excited to talk about this.
Yeah, guys. So come prop up on Thrive Fantasy for the big game on Sunday. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports and esports app for player props. With Thrive,
they got League of Legends too.
Yeah, dude, they got League of Legends. We saw a couple of. They had a free roll the other night. I didn't get into it, but yeah. Did you play that?
I did. I actually, I won a shitload of money on League of Legends last night. Again, like I got in 5th place, 7th place, 9th place, and you got in 10th place in the same tournament.
Yep.
I wish the tournaments were a little bit bigger. Anyways, let's. We'll talk more about League of Legends after this. Let's get back to Thrive.
Yeah, with Thrive, you can eliminate the countless hours of research and focus only on the top tier athletes that have the biggest impact on the game. Choose 10 out of the 20 available player props to build your lineup. Each prop is assigned a fantasy value for both the over and the under based on how likely it is to hit.
So the higher probability plays are going to be less points, and then lower probability plays are going to be higher points. I get it.
Exactly. Hit the most props and rack up the most points and win a share of the prize pool. Thrive has a free $1,000, so it's a free roll, $1,000 contest, and over $30,000 in guaranteed prizes for the big game alone. On top of some of the other free rolls we've been seeing, playing around with the app a little bit. So check it out, guys. You can use promo code EDGEDFS when you sign up today, and you will receive an instant match up to $50 on your first deposit. Download Thrive Fantasy on the App Store or Play Store, or by visiting their website, www.thrivefantasy.com. Sign up and prop up today.
It's a fun little remix to do DFS prop lineups. I feel like, you know?
and having some other options where you're playing a little bit differently. It's a different game theory. It's nice to think outside of the box a little bit. And just to be honest, man, prop betting was one of the biggest tools that we had to help us for MMA during lockdown. So it's definitely kind of nice. I've made a little bit of money just betting live props during the game. So it'll be fun, man.
So check them out. We really appreciate it, guys. Check them out. It helps you out. It helps us out. They'll match your deposit up to $50. Check them out. All right, let's get into our captain selection here. Before we actually show you our captain choices here, what I want to do is get to our captain crunch segment. And basically what that is, that's showing you guys, I've crunched out 250 lineups. And these are sort of the general options. If we no settings, no randomness, no adjustments to projections, this is kind of what it is out of the box, and get you a good idea of where the field's going to be.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
So, first reaction here for me, Eric Paschal gets you literally the optimal lineup. He's got the highest floor, the highest projected points, one of the lowest amount of dupes as well. And that's important. And if you look at the sum of ownership, he's in orange there at 220%. Well, that doesn't always matter. If we're talking about actual dupes and we're doing the math on that properly, he's one of the lower amount of dupes. So I think you get the highest amount of leverage with Paschal at captain. It's slightly risky because look, if Steph Curry or Tatum or Brown get 50 or 60 fantasy points, most likely they're going to have to be in the captain. But there's a situation where Paschal has a great game and you don't need him to be the highest scoring player because you have all those other guys in the flex. So Ellie, what jumps out to you here besides, Paschal and, Oubre does not look good either?
Honestly, I'm actually kind of surprised that Steph Curry's had the highest ceiling projection on the slate.
Yeah.
I figured you'd have to pay down pretty heavily to get to that kind of projection with a guy like Steph Curry in there. So I'm definitely curious as to what kind of lineup builds we can get that are unique with Steph, just based on that projection.
Yeah.
But overall, man, this is pretty much what I expected. A lot of these guys are high floor kind of guys. I think Jaylen Brown has some upside just because he can go off. But with guys like Steph and Tatum who get the periphery stats, Steph is going to get assists. Probably a couple rebounds, get some steals. Tatum, is going to do the same thing. He's a double threat every night. I think that impacts you when you're looking at this. Jaylen Brown really needs to have a ceiling game from a scoring perspective to be the optimal captain. But yeah, other than that, man, I think Eric Paschal is really interesting, and given his projected ownership in the captain spot, I don't think it's crazy to jam him in there in a couple lineups. And I know that Steph, Tatum, Jaylen can all have 60-point games, and they'll probably all have 45-plus point games tonight. But the problem is Kemba might have 25, 30. If one of these other guys is going to have 30-plus points, and you're not going to be able to pay for him because you got fucking three lineups with Bazemore, Juan Toscano-Anderson, and Grant Williams, the fourth-string Williams. And that's something you got to keep in mind on this particular slate. So I don't think Paschal is a terrible captain choice because I think you need that value to jam in the other raw points.
If there's any guy that I'm just not excited to play a captain is Kemba. Watch, he comes out and crushes tonight. I just don't think the minutes are there. He just doesn't grade out well. Putting him in the flex is a good opportunity. I just think the probability of him outscoring Brown, Tatum, Curry is super low just because he's not getting the opportunity. Draymond too. Look, Draymond, middle of the road. I think he's actually a safe play. You look at those amount of minutes that are combined with him in the flex, as well as the ownership and dupes. I think he might, slip under the radar slightly for captain. So I think you can sprinkle him in as well. Anything else to add here before we move to our captain picks?
No, I'm torn. I think Green is okay at captain. Yeah. Personally, he's just too scary for me, man. Too scary.
I agree. All right, we're going to do this again.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
We're crowning their ass on DraftKings. Ellie, you're liking Tatum. I don't hate that. I'm liking Paschal simply because of his ceiling, his upside. We're talking a low salary, and you could fit all the best players in the flex. So talk to me about Jason Tatum.
I think it's time we did our viewers justice and got a little bit brave at the position. So I guess I'm taking the second best player on the slate, instead of the obvious Steph Curry. But look, he's a double threat every night. He does have the absolute ability to go off. He's an incredible player. I like this kid. I think he's one of the superstars in the league, and I think he gets a lot of negative feedback. Because he's not fucking Giannis and some of these other guys, but the dude can make a free throw, so I'll give him that. Anyways, I'm getting way sidetracked. Look, I think he has the opportunity to crush tonight. He's big and physical. There's really nobody else that's going to be able to play defense against him, especially with Heist and Tristan Thompson starting. So that means Draymond Green, Kevon Looney are going to be eating them up. And what's he going to get defense from Andrew Wiggins? I mean, come on, man. That seems like a setup. So I'll have some decent amount of him, and you're saving a little bit of money. So it's not, by not playing Steph at captain. So it's definitely something to look at. I just keep an eye on ownership projections. He could end up being a little bit higher owned just because he is a little bit cheaper than Steph.
How much Pascal are you getting?
As much as I can. All right.
I mean, in captain, yeah.
I got half my lineups, 50%.
So I think he's probably going to come in, maybe less than 10%. More likely closer to 5%, in my opinion. Matthew is asking Lee or Bazemore. Ellie, do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, if you can pay for Lee, probably Lee. But if it's, if you need to save the money so that you can get a higher ceiling guy, then I don't hate Bazemore. Right, look, any of these guys are going to get rotation. They're going to get 15 minutes. They're going to get 12 to 15 minutes. There's just not enough players. Unless one Toscano Anderson comes out, and I stumbled through that and got it was okay. Yeah, unless he's going to come out and get 18 minutes tonight, right? So there's just not enough people to fill the 4 and 5 for the Warriors. So they're going to have to play small ball.
So we're going to start building lineups together here in 1 second. Please hit us up in the chat if you want to see a certain roster construction, if you want to go heavy with, you want to see a 5-1 Boston, or you want to see something crazy, or if you just want to see a basic cash lineup. We're going to start with that. But before we get to that, let's talk about our Devin Booker Cool Cats giveaway for NBA Top Shot. So, look, if you guys haven't heard about NBA Top Shot, I know a lot of the DFS players are really getting into this stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. It looks pretty awesome. They're digital collectibles. They're moments, and there's been a lot of it's slowed down a little bit lately. I think because of just the technical aspect of the website. But look, we're giving away this Cool Cats Devin Booker number 2176. Right now, this thing is selling for, I think, $350 right now. If you wanted to flip this, you can flip it immediately, or you can use it to complete the Luka challenge and get that free Luka card. That's only available to people who complete the Cool Cats challenge. So look, all you have to do is go to the Edge DFS Twitter. You can go to my Twitter or Ellie's Twitter, and it'll link you up to that particular post. It's also in the description. All you have to do is share that post, follow us on YouTube, and on Saturday, we're giving this away. I'm going to gift it to someone randomly. We're going to use that wheel. We're going to spin the wheel live on an NBA show. We're going to give this away. So you can keep it. You can do it. You can hold on to it for as long as you want. You could sell it that night. You can do whatever you want with it. The bottom line is this thing is probably the best moment in this particular pack of Cool Cats. So please, guys, check it out. We're trying to grow our channel. So retweet, follow us, and we'll be giving this away on Saturday night. So keep that in mind. All right, Ellie, let's build. You want to do it?
Yep, let's do it. Who you want to start with the captain? Actually, let's just start with
Opto.
All right. Jason Tatum captain, Damian Lee, Kevon Looney, Eric Paschal, Jaylen Brown, and Steph Curry. It's actually a really nice lineup.
So Matthew, the highest floor, they're both pretty close. They're both hovering right around like 10 fantasy points for a floor. But to me, Lee has those more projected for more minutes. So that makes me maybe lean more towards Lee. He's projected for about 5 more minutes-ish. So that could make all the difference. So that maybe boosts his floor with those extra minutes. So this is the opto, right? Tatum, Lee, Looney, Pascal, Brown, Curry. Wow, that's actually a pretty nice lineup. That's a really nice lineup.
Yeah, I'm actually entering this.
Yeah, you should. And Matthew, that this answers our question here. Lee is popping into this optimal lineup. So I think he's a safer play because of the minutes.
Yeah, and interesting thing about this, last game, it looks like Jordan Poole got 22 minutes or some shit on
Random
Golden State. Yeah, but it was random minutes, and he got priced up a little bit. So I wonder if people are going to start paying attention. What do we have actually for him? Look at that real quick. Oh, he's not even in the player pool. Okay. Well, maybe not. All right, so we'll leave Jason Tatum at captain. You want to see what we can do to get off the chalk?
Yeah, let's leave Looney and Pascal in. Let's get rid of. I mean, it's scary because look, Jaylen Brown has had at least 36 fantasy points in 10 straight games, so it's very scary to not play him. And I don't want to not play Curry, so I don't know how you get it. I think you just have to. This could be a good core: Looney, Pascal, Brown, Curry, and Tatum, and then you just rotate out low owned guys in that last position, or you rotate out Brown with Walker in a few. I just love Looney and Pascal together. It allows you to get so many good options.
Yeah, man. And then look, I mean, if you want to come off Damian Lee, you have Brad Wanamaker, 2,800.
Yeah,
he's going to get 19 minutes.
So if we want to be a little different here, let's just get rid of Looney. I'm not fading Pascal. Not happening. So let's get rid of Looney and see if we can replace him with another low price guy in that range. Is Toscano Anderson not projected? Is lineup HQ drunk here? Deselect the hide unprojected. Why would he not be projected for any points? Well, I mean, he's only projected for 7 minutes, right? Yeah, that's why. He's barely getting any projection. So it's kind of a scary play, to be honest.
So who the fuck do they have playing? Did they have another active Michael Mulder, Kent Bazemore? I mean, shit. If that's the case, throw in Kent Bazemore.
It might be Bazemore getting those minutes, or it could be more Pascal even. Draymond and potentially Pascal will most likely get those minutes, but it just depends on the rotation.
All right, then let's see who won a captain. That kind of messed everything up because I needed to update that shit and it didn't come through.
All right, clear everyone out. Go with Curry at captain and see what the opto for Curry at captain is. So Bazemore now. Interesting. And Tristan Thompson. So what's the minutes projection for Tristan Thompson now? What are you seeing now that he's in the starting lineup? Did they adjust?
24.
Oh, shit. What was he at before? Oh, he was at around 20. Yeah, so that's a big boost for him, man. At 4,600, that changes my mind on him a little bit. Ryan's asking about Aaron Naismith. To be honest, I mean, 12 minutes projected at 1.8K. His fantasy points per minute is not there. I think it's just a straight up dart throw. Ellie, do you have any thoughts on him?
Yeah, I do. Not going to be looking at him. Mostly because there's too much value on the other side of the ball with guaranteed minutes. Rotations are going to be pretty tight for Golden State.
Could be garbage time stuff, but if you're building a lineup for that, maybe he gets a slight boost, but I'm not touching him. I'm also not messing with Juan Toscano Anderson either.
I will have one lineup with him just in case. Hopefully he's not inactive. see. All right, let's come off of what TT. I don't. Let's take out. So let's build one where we fade Jaylen Brown just to see what it gets us. If we do that, we obviously need Kemba and Tatum. So let's take out Bazemore. I want Looney in this one, 3,700.
So, Raph, I have literally no Tremont Waters. He's projected for 0 minutes. Unless, Ellie, you're seeing something different. But I see him as 0 minutes, so I'm not touching that. I'm not touching him.
Yeah, it looks like him and Osmo agree. Or Argene. He's not showing anything on this one. Or lineup HQ.
All right, so Ellie, talk to me about roster construction tonight. What are you focusing on? We've got about 8 minutes left.
I think
if you're building by hand tonight, what are you doing for single entry? What are you doing for large field? How are you building your rosters? Are you punting at captain sort of, or are you sticking with the best captains and going with crazy flex plays?
I'm going to be 50-50 down the middle. For my single entry, I'm going to be going Jason Tatum at captain and then kind of jamming some people in just to be a little bit safer. But I have a couple darts into some of the 20 max tournaments, so I'll get a little bit more weird there with Eric Pascal at captain. This is damn near one of the lineups I actually have in there.
Looney, Green, Brown, Tate. Oh, see, yeah, that actually is I think that's my single entry. Let me look. I actually did this for my single entry lineup. Looney, Draymond, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Steph Curry. Yep, that's it. I feel like that might be. Is that the optimal? No, the Jason Tatum for you is the optimal, right?
Right. But
on my end, my end, that this lineup was the optimal. Well, not with Tice, but
yeah, this was just a pivot off of that. I don't hate this play if you want to come off of Draymond. Jeff Teague, I'm not that interested in, but I mean, say we leave Draymond in, that gives us 400. Is there anyone we want to pivot off of Looney? I don't think we need to, though.
I mean, you could go with Damian Lee as a tournament pivot. I think Damian Lee has a higher ceiling. So if you just want to just buy those 20 fantasy points that Looney's most likely going to get, then fine. But the standard deviation for Lee is much greater, and you're going to get way bigger range of outcomes for Lee because he can absolutely score like 20 real life points.
Yeah, I don't hate this build. All right, you want to see anything else with Pascal at captain, or you want to try Jaylen Brown captain?
Let's do Jaylen Brown captain. Tice dominating a center matchup today. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he doesn't really have much competition today. Let's throw Tice in the flex just to see how that goes. Let me look at my Tice exposure. Actually, Ellie, let me build this lineup and I want to show the chat. I want to show you guys my exposure for this game on my Excel sheet.
Oh shit, that got tight real quick. Still in Bazemore. That leave us with 2,600.
So you're fading Pascal here?
Yeah, unintentionally. Wow. Doesn't look like that's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, Tice is a little expensive here. Pascal. What do you got left? 5,600?
Yeah, I don't want Teague.
I don't want Teague either. Tristan Thompson, dude. There you go.
Yeah, this is terrible, man. I like it.
I mean, I don't love Bazemore. Can you go up from Bazemore to anybody?
2,200. Not really.
No.
Aaron Nesmith.
So, Raph, my favorite lineup was that Pascal one that we built earlier. It was Pascal at captain, Looney, Draymond Green, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Steph Curry. So you got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Steph Curry, super high upside, Draymond, Kevon Looney, and Eric Pascal. That's the lineup that I'm entering. I feel pretty confident about that one. Ryan, thanks. Appreciate you sharing. We really appreciate you guys supporting us. We're a newer channel. We're trying to grow. We're putting in the work, so we really appreciate all the help. Any shares on Twitter, any follows, really helps us out. We really appreciate it. Let me switch to my screen here. I want to show my exposures for this. We got 4 minutes. So this is just the way it works out. So with me, it depends on the slate. I don't always love to just like interject my own opinions on things. I like to let it ride sometimes. I'll adjust randomness. I'll adjust some projections. I'll adjust some minutes, and then I'll let the optimizer do its job with Showdown sometimes, because it's just so random most of the time with Showdown that I don't like to just be too heavy on certain things. Now I'll take bold choices, like I'll put Pascal in almost every lineup. I'll play way too much Looney, but most of the time it just works out the way it works out. And unless a guy like Robert Williams ends up in 50% of my lineups, I'm going to be okay with whatever it gives me. Now, it's not like that for main slate. It's not like that for every Showdown slate, but today specifically, there's a lot of options and I want to be spread out. So as you can see, Jason Tatum is pretty much in every one of my lineups. Curry's in every one of my lineups. I got Pascal in 24% captain. And look, if Pascal is 5% or even 10% at captain, I'm more than double the field. I know that 24% at captain isn't a ton, but if he's 5% at captain, I'm 5x on the field. I have the advantage. I don't need to go 80% Pascal unless I really, really feel like getting dangerous. Ellie, how does this match are you doing a 20 max tonight?
For NBA?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not for this. I have been for main slate, dude. I've just been doing random darts and kind of focusing on the catch side of stuff for Showdown as of late. I kind of like playing those, though. Single entry, and then even the like 5-man contest. I know you don't like it, but I love playing that shit, dude. Just putting the optimal lineup in there. Most people overthink it. They try to throw in random fucking captains, and you don't need to.
For Showdown, I just don't love playing cash. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I'll do it like to hedge. If I really like hate a popular player, I'll play some cash, So Ryan's asking about Brown captain, Tatum, Curry, Pascal, Looney, Lee. That sounds awesome. Don't you think, Ellie?
I like it. You're jamming in a lot of high point players. GPP though, for sure, right? Jaylen Brown scoring dependent, so that's not.
Yeah,
doesn't have the safest floor, but
I wouldn't call that a cash play. For sure. You shouldn't put Lee in cash. At least I'm not putting Lee in cash. All right, Ellie. So we've got 1 minute to lock. What do you want to talk about? You're drinking water? What the fuck? What are you, an adult?
Bro, I need to rehydrate. I want to talk about Juan Toscano Anderson. If this motherfucker is going to play, bro, I need him to play. Like, what are you supposed to do? There's nobody on the goddamn team. I mean, what are they going to... I don't even know who some of these people are on the backup roster. So, prayers to me.
How much Juan Toscano do you have?
I have one lineup with him.
All right. Well, how many lineups did you do today? Are you hand building them?
Yeah,
I think
I did 8 or 9. Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad. One of them, and if he gets some garbage time, maybe you can do well. Well, what's going on?
Some of my 20 maxes are doing okay now for main slate. Problem is, fucking FEV. I don't even know how many fantasy points did he have. Let's see. So he finished with 77.75 fantasy points.
God. I mean, how?
Dude, he had 11 threes.
That's just
54 real life points. Yeah, that's what it was.
That is crazy. Everyone, good luck. We've hit lock. Let's talk about ownership here. Let me find the biggest tournament I'm in, and let's look at some of this shit. As you guys leave, if you want to stick with us for a minute, look at ownership. We appreciate it. If you leave, just send us a like, throw us a like. We appreciate that. Check us out on Twitter. Eric Pascal, 26% owned.
I have him
Why?
at 41 in mine, and then 5.5 at captain.
41 and wait, 41. How many people are in yours, and what's the buy-in?
This one, it's a $3. It's only 495 people though.
Okay, mine's a 14,000. This is actually the biggest. This is actually the biggest contest on the slate. I think this is the $1.20 max. So he's at 26%, which seems stupid as fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know. Am I overhyping him? Then you always see the ownership. You're like, whoa, am I stupid? I don't think so.
bro. Daniel Tice is 28%.
Draymond 20%.
Yeah, if I knew he was that low, I would have had a little bit more exposure.
So Pascal is 3.75% in the captain. If he has 30 fantasy points today, we're going to be loving life. Curry at 80%, which is funny because he's usually at 95. But
Right.
I think there's so much high-end plays that you can't fit them all together. Tatum at 80%, 21% in the captain. Curry's actually 19% in the captain. Interesting. Jaylen Brown, 21%, and he's 75% overall. Looney's 52%. So I actually thought that Pascal would be higher than Looney. That's just, I don't know why I thought that. I just, because I like Pascal so much, and we've done so many Golden State games that we know what he can do, and we know that Looney is just kind of get you 7 rebounds and 4 points and a couple blocks and a couple steals. But Pascal can score you 20 real life fantasy points, which is interesting. Let me look.
Yeah.
Let me look at another lineup or two and see what other players we got here.
Juan Toscano Anderson, 1%.
That's probably you. And in that line, it is how many entries? What, a couple hundred?
This one, let's see.
Ken Bazemore 28%. Kemba Walker 19%. See, that's what I was talking about. If he was that low owned, I would have went heavy on him. Not heavy, but I would have went like 30-40% instead of so low.
I wonder if I have it.
Wiggins 30%. So Wiggins is literally like 2% higher owned than Kent Bazemore. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think everyone was paying for the same fucking people, you know?
Yeah. So if you have Kemba Walker and if you have Pascal and you have Draymond Green, like together, like you're going to be super unique. And I think those are good options. All right, it's 7:03 Pacific. What do you think? We got another 45 minutes till this game actually tips off. I just don't understand the NBA. Isn't that so frustrating? Like literally when we're doing an NFL show and we hit lock, I go to refresh and look at ownership and they've already got points on the board. Like a 1 minute after lock. It takes a full 15 minutes before these guys tip off sometimes.
Bro, I keep forgetting I've been playing on FanDuel too because I had
Why
some.
the hell would you do that?
No, dude, they keep randomly depositing free money, and I finally used it wisely and won it back. But let's see. Well, good luck on this showdown for FanDuel too, huh? Maybe we can start adding a lineup or two for FanDuel.
Yeah, might as well try it. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it. Like I said, go check us out on Twitter to enter that giveaway. We will be doing, throughout this week, we'll be doing more of these NBA videos, obviously. We've got one NFL showdown for the Super Bowl on Sunday video already out. It was a first look. We're going to do another one tomorrow or the next day based on some of the news. We'll do one more of our traditional show where we have our favorite captains, where we have our fades, all that fun stuff. And then we'll do a live show on Sunday before the game. So stick with us, subscribe. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.